A vat of oil hits 400 degrees. The ship rolls. The oil shifts with it. 100,000 tons of steel are swaying through open water. Below the flight deck, in a windowless compartment, that same oil keeps tilting toward the edge of a steel basin, and one wrong step is the only thing standing between dinner and a fire. This is not the missile bay. This is not the reactor room. This is the galley. And on a U.S. Navy aircraft carrier, it might be the most dangerous compartment on the entire ship. But here's what nobody talks about. The people who run that galley never fire a weapon, never appear in a recruitment commercial, and almost nobody outside the fleet has ever heard their job title. Here's where it gets staggering, what it actually takes to run that operation, and what it costs the men and women standing in front of that oil every single day. 18,000 meals, every single day. That's the number coming out of the galley on a Nimitz or Ford-class carrier, and one of the only rooms on this ship that never, ever stops running. Do the math on that. 3 full meal periods a day, plus a 4th late-night meal for the crews working the overnight watch, feeding roughly 5,000 sailors, regardless of weather, time zone, or what's happening on the flight deck above. No restaurant on land operates at that volume, every single day, with 0 days off, for months at a time. And the workforce behind that number isn't massive. It's roughly 100 culinary specialists, that's the actual Navy rating. Not chefs, not cooks in the civilian sense. 100 people, feeding 5,000. They never fire a weapon. They never appear in a single recruitment commercial. But take that 100 people off the ship, and the carrier stops functioning within hours, no exceptions. No replacements waiting in the wings. Before any of those 18,000 meals get served, somebody has to move the raw food first. We're talking tens of thousands of pounds of ingredients handled every single day, and a lot of that weight doesn't arrive on a conveyor belt or a forklift. It arrives in 50 to 100-pound sacks, carried by hand, down narrow passageways, on a deck that never holds still. Picture carrying something close to the weight of another grown adult, on your shoulder, over and over, for an entire shift, on a ship that's actively rolling beneath your feet. That's not a metaphor. That's the literal job description, every single day at sea. And all of that happens in a compartment with no windows at all. Temperatures near the fryers and ovens climb to 120 degrees Fahrenheit, hotter than the worst heat waves that shut down entire cities in the American Southwest. Except there's no shade to step into, no breeze, no door to walk out of until the shift officially ends. Here's where it gets staggering. That shift isn't 8 hours. It's 14 to 16 hours straight, starting at 0, 300, 3 o'clock in the morning, long before most of the rest of the ship is even awake. Some culinary specialists are on their feet in a windowless 120-degree room before the sun comes up and well after it goes back down. Tired people make mistakes. In a galley packed with boiling oil and open flame, that's not a figure of speech. That is an operational risk, repeating itself every single day, on every single deployment. On land, cooking is one of the most routine jobs there is. At sea, on a U.S. Navy warship, it becomes one of the deadliest. Same stove, same oil. Completely different set of rules. That oil frying tonight's dinner sits at 400 degrees Fahrenheit, in a basin that's actively tilting with the ship. Picture a swimming pool of boiling oil, rocking back and forth in sync with the waves. That's not an exaggeration. That's the literal physics of cooking at sea. Every single night. This is not a typical kitchen fire risk. Civilian fire departments call it a Class K fire. The Navy treats it as one of the most serious fire threats on the entire ship, right up there with fuel and ordnance. And here's the reason why. A grease fire doesn't just burn where it starts. It gets pulled straight into the ventilation system above the stove, and that system runs directly toward the berthing compartments above the racks and coffin lockers where off-duty sailors are sleeping, sometimes just one deck above the flames. Have you ever worked a job this dangerous? Tell us in the comments. So, how does the Navy actually stop a fire like that? Not with water. Throwing water on 400-degree oil doesn't put it out, it makes the fire explode, scattering burning oil in every direction. Instead, every Navy galley fryer sits directly under something called a gaylord hood. wired into an automatic suppression system that floods the flame with a chemical agent the instant a fire starts. APC, aqueous potassium carbonate. It exists because somebody, decades ago, learned this lesson the hard way, and the Navy built the fix directly into the equipment. April 7th, 1959. The nuclear submarine USS Triton. A deep fat fryer in the galley catches fire, and the flames and toxic smoke get pulled straight into the ship's ventilation system, exactly the same failure point still designed around on every Navy galley today. It takes the crew's direct intervention to keep that fire from spreading through the submarine. A kitchen fire on a nuclear submarine, fully submerged, with nowhere to go. That is how thin the margin actually is. And that is why this compartment gets treated like a weapon system, not a kitchen. Strip away the missiles, the radar, the 100,000-ton hull, and ask what actually keeps a U.S. Navy carrier strike group running. The answer isn't a weapon system. It's a kitchen. 100 culinary specialists working 14 to 16-hour shifts in a windowless room that hits 120 degrees, standing inches from boiling oil that could ignite the deck above them, and they do it so that 5,000 sailors can eat every single day, without exception. They never fire a weapon. They will never see their name on a recruitment poster, but take them off the ship, and the most expensive piece of military hardware on the planet stops functioning within hours. That's the real story behind 18,000 meals a day. Not convenience, not comfort food. 100 people holding up the most powerful warship in the world from the inside, and almost nobody outside the Navy even knows their job exists. The hardware costs billions. The reactor, the catapults, the radar, all of it gets the headlines. But none of it runs without the 100 people nobody puts on camera. Call them the backbone of the fleet, because that's exactly what they are. Type proud if you're grateful for the work these sailors do, and if you served in a Navy galley yourself, tell us what we got right and what we missed.